Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Locrine and we've made it to Act 5, hooray! And we get to hear from Assaracus today in Act 5, Scene 2. Now remember, yesterday Ate told us that Act 5 was kind of going to be about a scorned Gwendolen seeking revenge on Locrine with her brother Thrasymachus. And that sort of kicks off right away. Act 5, Scene 2 starts out with Locrine and Assaracus and Thrasymachus and Camber and like that crew. And Assaracus is like, wait, and he's dead too? How could this happen? They're like, yes. Camber's like, everything is so sad. And now we have Corineus' death to mourn as well. And Thrasymachus is like, nobody is sadder than me because now it's my dad that's dead. You know, that cursed Humber that all started this whole thing. And Locrine is like, oh, so sad. Where's Gwendolen? And Thrasymachus is like, well, she's in Cornwall grieving her father, my father. She's there like paying her respects and everything like that. And Locrine is like, great, she can stay there forever. She doesn't ever have to come back here. She can be a queen up there in Cornwall. Meanwhile, somebody go and get me Estrald so finally I can be with the woman that I love. Because remember, he was keeping Estrald in like this jeweled cave because Corineus was very upset that Gwendolen had been spurned. So she's been living in this cave for like 7 some odd years at this point. And Locrine is like, oh, finally, with Gwendolen gone, let's just leave her there. Estrald can come back and everything will be great. And Thrasymachus is like, little too soon, don't you think? Like, you're spurning my sister while she's grieving her dad? And Locrine is like, have you forgotten who I am? I'm the king. I can do whatever I want. And Thrasymachus is like, I'm not afraid of you. And Locrine is like, well, you should be. And Thrasymachus is like, well, I'm not. And Locrine is like, well, then you're banished. Get out of here. And Thrasymachus is like, you'll rue the day. I will get revenge. And he leaves, at which point Assaracus turns to Locrine and says, alas, my lord, you should have called to mind the latest words that Brutus spake to you, how he desired you by the obedience that children ought to bear their sire, to love and favor Lady Gwendolen. Consider this, that if the injury do move her mind, as certainly it will, war and dissension follows speedily. What though her power be not so great as yours? Have you not seen a mighty elephant slain by the biting of a silly mouse? Even so the chance of war inconstant is. So this is Assaracus trying to be a voice of reason. Our previous voices of reason have kicked the bucket at this point, but he's turning to Locrine and sort of gently saying, because Assaracus is also a brother of Brutus and Corineus, so he was there when Brutus died and said, Locrine, marry Gwendolen. He's like, remember, your dad told you to marry Gwendolen. Like, those were his dying words, were that you should marry Gwendolen, and now the fact that you're not will make her angry. And no, she's not necessarily as strong as you, but this is going to lead to war and dissension and unrest because she was supposed to be queen and now she's not going to be queen. So, like, you may not think that she's strong, but she doesn't necessarily have to be strong in order to be your undoing. And Locrine is like, nah, everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. At which point a page comes in with Estrald, and Estrald is like, why am I being taken to the court? Why is he calling me now? Is this it? Am I dying? Am I going to be killed right now? And the page is like, no, it's nothing like that. And she's like, but okay, so why am I here? And Locrine is like, oh, my beautiful Estrald, finally we can live out our love in public. We can walk through the streets together. You don't have to be in the cave anymore. And that's the end of Act 5, Scene 2. So things seem to be going lovely for Locrine at the moment, but we might be getting to like some more fun revenge tragedy stuff. We've had lots of people wanting to get revenge, but a lot of the people who have died were people who were seeking revenge, who then needed to get revenge for something else. So I don't know that this qualifies yet as a revenge tragedy, like on the scale of, say, Titus Andronicus, which it has sometimes been compared to. But now we're going to have some fighting within the family, which is going to make the revenge, when and if it happens, a little bit more biting. And we'll get into that further as we get further into Act 5. I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.